will give me a sense of meaning? What is it that excites me? What is it that I'm drawn towards, what I call your primal inclinations? Are you unhappy? Are you frustrated? Are you hitting kind of rock bottom? By doing things, the brain learns. But if you never do anything, you're never going to learn. The human being has emptiness, has a hole inside of ourselves, a hole that we need to fill. You have to be careful because time passes really quickly. Those years in your 20s, they go by faster than you think. You're afraid of failure. To know who you are, to know what you were meant to do in life, why you were born, what makes you unique, requires a lot of reflection on yourself, self-awareness, self-knowledge. You have to go inward. And when your attention is always focused so much on what other people are doing, what other people are saying, what they think is hot, what they think is cool, you become kind of a stranger to yourself, right? So when I talk about that concept to them, it's like, it sounds interesting, Robert, but I have no idea what that is. I don't know what my life's task is. And I'm very empathetic to it because I was actually someone who was quite lost in my 20s. And I know the pain that can cause. Not feeling like your life has any meaning. I think that's something that really is tormenting a lot of young people. What does life mean? What will give me a sense of meaning? Right? To what I'm doing, to where I'm headed, to my daily experiences. And not having that is deeply disturbing. And I've been through that myself. You have to get out of this way of thinking that so many people have, which everything has to be simple and linear. And I'm headed in this direction. There's got to be a solution, like I'm hacking my way to the truth. Life doesn't work that way. Life is very complex. So I can't give you a single track answer to finding your life purpose, you as an individual. But I can give you kind of clues. I can kind of direct you towards certain paths that have worked for me and that have worked for hundreds of thousands of other people who've become masters or very successful in their field. And the first thing is you have to go inward. So you have to resist the pull that our culture gives you. You have to also really want this. That's probably what it really comes down to. Are you unhappy? Are you frustrated? Are you hitting kind of rock bottom? Is this a turning point in your life where you realize if I keep going this way in 5 years, it's going to be really serious? Okay, it has to be important to you and you have to have a sense of urgency. And with that sense of urgency, you have to make some decisions. And one of the decisions that's absolutely essential is to pay less attention to what other people are doing, to pay less attention to what other people are saying, to pay less attention to what people are telling you should be doing, and to go inward and think about yourself and think about what you love and what your interests are that have nothing to do with what people are doing on social media, the things that grab you, that excite you deeply inside in a way that's almost irresistible. That's like one of these things that hits you in the gut. Well, the people out there, you have that. There's something like that. You had it when you were a child. You had it when you were 2, 3, 4 years old, 5 years old, and you've lost it because you're listening too much to other people. So it's kind of like archaeology would be the metaphor. You have to dig and dig and dig and find those bones and those relics and those artifacts from your past, the things that really excite you, as well as the things that you hate. Each of those stories, there's a lesson for people, right? And that's what I compiled in Mastery. But it all begins from a sense of urgency. I can't go on this way. I have to find something that I love. When you're 20 or 21, maybe you don't feel that urgency because you're so young. You look good, you have lots of energy, the world's kind of open to you. But you have to be careful because time passes really quickly. Those years in your 20s, they go by faster than you think. And if you're turned 30 and you never thought about this, and you're kind of been wandering around trying things, it starts to get a little difficult, much harder for you. So it's better if you have that sense of urgency when you're 21 or 22. And the other thing I would say is, you don't learn anything if you're not excited by it. So you have to have a sense of fun and adventure about this. So discovering what your life's task can't be this dreary, boring thing that Robert's advocating you do, where I have to spend time with myself, I have to look, do a journal, blah, blah, blah. No, it's fun. It's an adventure. Trying different things that fit into this general shape of what you were destined for, it's a blast. When I was in my 20s, I had more fun than anybody. I had an amazing time. It was the best years of my life. I was trying all sorts of different things. I was exploring, I was traveling, I had adventures. So I don't want your life to be boring. I want you to learn, I want you to have adventures, but you have to have a sense of direction, a sense of purpose to guide that kind of those different adventures that you go on. But what happens with a lot of people who I also get correspondence from, who are, let's say, turning 40 or even a little bit older, and they're coming to those crossroads, is it's even much more painful than when you're in your 20s, because there's a sense of regret, there's a sense that you've wasted your time. And to get back to a path that will suit you can be very difficult, as you mentioned, but there's also another side to that, which is you probably have been learning some skills in your life. You probably have had some experiences that have changed you. Because when you're 21, 22, you don't know the world. You don't know people. You think you know everything, but you don't know anything, right? You've never had any experiences in life. You never had to suffer. Maybe you have, but not really suffering like you do when you get older. Okay, so you're 40, you've had tough experiences. You've been hardened. You've got, you're not so fragile, and you've learned things. If you change your mindset at that age and you go, I'm going to take what I have, my experiences, my skills, what I've learned, and I'm going to redirect it towards something more exciting for me, then it will work for you, right? But as you say, it can be harder because you're more set in your ways. The pain that you feel when you get older, and we humans have very active minds. We're gifted with the most powerful organ in the entire universe, the human brain. The billions of possible connections in our brain is greater than anything in the entire universe. It is the most amazing instrument, and our brains are very active. And when you get older and you don't have anything to put your brain onto and things are slowing down, you don't realize that that's what's making you depressed. You don't realize that the fact that you haven't been able to fulfill what you were meant to fulfill is actually the source of your misery and unhappiness. You will blame it on other people. You will blame it on the world. You will blame it on politics. You won't look at yourself and realize that it comes from you. And the sadness comes from you and the fact that you're not maximizing, you're not exploiting this gift that you were given. I want you to do the following. I want you to carve out 2 hours or as much as you can at night where you start exploring this field on the internet and you start considering maybe going to night school, okay, and taking classes that change this course. And then I want you to think of 5 years where you're going to be, a goal, 5 years ahead. But there is an answer, there is a place to go. And so it changes it when you have some sense of direction. I talk in Mastery about a concept called learning by doing. By doing things, the brain learns. But if you never do anything, you're never going to learn. So if you suddenly said, I've been thinking about a podcast, I would say, get off your ass and start the podcast tomorrow. And it fails. You have learned so many things. You've learned more in those 3 months of failure than you have been 2 years thinking or 5 years of getting an MBA from some school and putting yourself in massive debt. Learn by doing, learn by failing.
Like, why do we love to plan?
Because you're afraid of failure. Because if you're successful, you now have responsibility. You now have a reputation. You now have succeeded and your next venture could fail, right? There's pressure that comes with trying something and putting your name out there. And if I don't ever try anything, if I don't bother, if I blame the world, I blame my parents, I blame my education system, I blame my partner, this, that, and the other, then you never have to worry, you never have to have that responsibility, you never have to have that fear of success. And that holds people back. So it's easier to not do anything and stay in your little bubble and go, God, if only I had money, I would have written this great novel, I would have, done this, or that, the other. It's just crap. You're trying to delude yourself and you're afraid of actually putting your neck out on the line. That's what it comes down to. It's a common syndrome among adolescents. So unlike animals, we are not programmed. Now, animals aren't completely programmed, that's a myth, but they're much more programmed than we are by their instincts. So a leopard doesn't wake up in the morning and go, what am I going to do today? Am I going to hunt this animal or that animal? No, I think it's kind of cloudy. No, they don't. They don't have that choice. We do. And that's what makes us aimless. That's what makes us wake up in the morning and go, man, what am I going to do? So what that means, what that translates into is the human being has emptiness, has a hole inside of ourselves, a hole that we need to fill in some way because we have incredibly active minds. The brain, if you break it down, it's absolutely astounding. The powers that it has, the amount of neural pathways that connect, the complexity of it, and the activeness of it. I meditate every morning, and as I try and still my mind, whoa, thoughts are coming like this. You can't believe how active your mind is. You're just not aware of it. But we have this emptiness. We don't know what to fill it with. This mind is active. We're not programmed. We don't know what to do. And because of that emptiness, we have to fill it with something. We're restless. And if we don't know what to fill it with, we're just going to consume as a way to kind of deal with that empty feeling, as you say, to numb ourselves. We're going to eat. We're going to watch movies. We're going to binge watch. We're going to get addicted to, because it's filling that emptiness. It's taking that active mind and it's numbing it. And it's like, it seems satisfying because we don't have to deal with these other things. So you have to be aware that you have this emptiness inside of you. Everybody does. I have it. Everyone does. And I want you to have this privilege that I have. I'm not saying that I feel so great. I want you to have it. I have this feeling. I wake up in the morning. I know what I have to accomplish. I know what my goals are. I know what I have to do that particular day. I know what I have to do that particular week. These are the things that I can do to fill that emptiness, to program, to give myself purpose, to have that North Star that you're talking about. So be aware that your mind is so active that you have to have something to fill it. But it's your choice whether you're just going to consume mindless stuff or you're going to actually use that restless, active brain of yours and put it to some incredible function. So I have a chapter 1 in Mastery called Discover Your Life's Task. And it's not easy, and I don't have like a formula for it, but I kind of lay out the process that could lead you to it. If you're 22 or younger, then it's pretty clear what you have to do, and it's not so difficult. If you're 29, 30, it gets more complicated. If you're 40, it's very difficult. If you're 50, it's almost impossible. So the younger you go through this process, the better. And what it entails is figuring out what makes you unique in life. And I don't mean like total weirdness unique. I don't mean that you have to be like some flamboyant rock star, et cetera, et cetera. It can be what makes you unique as an entrepreneur, as a business person, what makes you unique as a social individual, as somebody who likes to interact with people, what makes you unique in any endeavor, right? Going into looking at your childhood and being honest with yourself and saying, I'm interested in this thing now that I'm 22, but it's not really me. It's what my parents want me to be interested in. It's not really me because it's what other peers think is cool right now. It's not really me because of blah, 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 blah. What is really me? Okay? So you got to peel away these layers and you got to come at. So when you were born, I liken to it, a seed is planted. That seed is your uniqueness because A, your DNA has never existed in the history of the universe and never will exist again. Okay? It's impossible. It's so unique. B, your parents are not like any other parents, and they're going to raise you in a way that's different from any other parenting couple in the history. C, you're going to have early experiences that are not like anybody else. That is unique. That is you. And it's real. It exists. And it's not like a single thing. It's not like, oh, I was meant to be a fireman. Oh, I was meant to be a politician. It's vaguer than that. It has to do with things that attract you, whether it's sports and your body, whether it's mathematics or music, or whether it's words and literature, or whether it's social things, or whether it's building a house, carpentry, or building a business, etc. What is it that excites me? What is it that I'm drawn towards? What I call your primal inclinations. Going through that process and figuring out, digging up that seed and figuring out what it is should be the most exciting process in your life. Because if you do it, all the stuff that we're talking about, all the bad circumstances of the world, everything you're facing, you will reverse that power. You will discover your superpower. You will be motivated. You will find the energy.
Knowledge and skills are like gold, a currency you will transform into something more valuable than you can.
So your brain needs pressure.
Builds men.
So after watching this, I gave you a call and said, there's no way I'm hurling out of a plane with a parachute, jumping out and just trying to be accurate enough to get into that cave, that cavern. And if I actually can do it, there's no way I'm gonna open that parachute and get down safely. And she said, don't worry about it. We're not jumping out of a plane. Like, great. I'm still not gonna do that. Like, and there's no parachute. There's a rope. We're rappelling down. I said, that sounds reasonable. And it's here a couple of hours away from Monterrey. It's in San Luis Potosí. It's called Sótano de las Golondrinas. And you should do it, because I'm doing it, and our father is doing it. And I'm thinking, well,
now, the background, when I was asked to make this presentation, it took me a while to decide what to talk about. And since I have a finance perspective, I had somehow to bring in some finance.
ट्रेडिंग को सीख पाना इतना ज्यादा मुश्किल क्यों है? क्या ऐसा कारण है कि आप सब कुछ सीखने के बाद भी ट्रेडिंग में कुछ नहीं कर पा रहे हो? क्योंकि अगर रियलिटी देखें तो YouTube पे सारा इंफॉर्मेशन एक्चुअली में फ्री में अवेलेबल है। आपको प्राइस एक्शन के लेक्चर्स मिल जाएंगे, आपको ट्रेंड लाइन के लेक्चर्स मिल जाएंगे फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट, आपको कैंडल सीखने को मिल जाएगा, आपको स्मार्ट मनी कॉन्सेप्ट, ये वो सब कुछ अगर आपके अंदर सीखने की चाह है तो आपको सब कुछ YouTube में फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट मिल जाएगा। बट उसके बाद भी क्यों ऐसा होता है कि कोई इंसान सिंपल तरीके से ट्रेड कर रहा है और पैसे बना रहा है और आपको इतना कुछ पता है उसके बाद भी आपके ट्रेडिंग में पैसे नहीं बन रहे। इसका सबसे बड़ा कारण और आप उसको इंप्रूव कैसे कर सकते हो वो हम आज के लेक्चर में सीखेंगे। ट्रेडिंग में सब कुछ सीखने के बाद भी अगर आप प्रॉफिट नहीं कर पा रहे हो तो उसका सबसे बड़ा कारण जानने की कोशिश करते हैं और वो कारण एक्चुअली में होता है ट्रेडिंग साइकोलॉजी। ना ट्रेडिंग साइकोलॉजी एक ऐसी चीज है जिसपे बहुत सारे लोग बोलते हैं कि एक्चुअली में ये मैटर नहीं करता है, बहुत सारे लोग बोलते हैं मैटर करता है। अगर आप मेरी बात मानो तो जब सारी इंफॉर्मेशन फ्री में अवेलेबल है, सब कुछ लोगों को पता है, उसके बाद भी अगर नहीं लोग बना पा रहे पैसे, तो वो एक ही चीज होती है, आपका सोचने का तरीका। एकदम सिंपल और एकदम आसान भाषा में यही चीज है जो मैटर करती है। अब वो सोचने के तरीके से मेरा मतलब क्या है? सोचने के तरीके से मेरा मतलब ये है कि जब आप एक पर्टिकुलर ट्रेड में होते हो तब आप सोचते कैसे हो, वो है। अब ये जो सोचने का तरीका एक्चुअली में है, ये चीज आपकी 80% होती है ट्रेडिंग में। और अगर आपको टाइम ज्यादा हो गया है, लेट्स से आपको 5, 6, 7 इयर्स हो गए हैं, तो ये चीज 99% है। बिकॉज अगेन अब आपको 6-7 साल हो चुके हैं, 5 साल हो चुके हैं, तो उसका मतलब आपने इनफ चार्ट टाइम भी दे दिया है, आपने इनफ चीजें सीखी हैं, आपने इनफ लॉस भी करा है, अच्छे खासे पैसे भी आपने जलाए हैं। तो अब जो चीज आपको रोक रही है वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ आपका सोचने का तरीका है, जिसे सारे लोग ट्रेडिंग साइकोलॉजी बोलते हैं। मेरे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से इट इज जस्ट हाउ यू थिंक व्हेन यू आर इनटू अ ट्रेड। अब यूजुअली क्या होता है, सबके यहां पे अलग अलग थॉट्स होते हैं। एक बिगिनर ट्रेडिंग को अलग नजरिए से देखेगा, उसके लिए अगर अभी जो मैं बातें बोल रहा हूं वो शायद रिलेटेबल नहीं रहेंगी। क्यों? क्योंकि वो बोलेगा यार मुझे तो अभी प्राइस एक्शन ही नहीं आता, मुझे मार्केट में ऑर्डर लगाना ही नहीं आता, मुझे स्टॉप लॉस नहीं लगाना आता, ऑप्शन क्या होता है नहीं पता, फॉरेक्स मार्केट क्या है नहीं पता, बेसिक्स नहीं क्लियर है। तो उसको अगर मैं बोल दूंगा कि बॉस 80-90% ट्रेडिंग साइकोलॉजी है, तो स्टार्टिंग में उसके कुछ सेंस में आएगा ही नहीं। क्योंकि ट्रेडिंग साइकोलॉजी एक ऐसी चीज है जो कि आप को कोई एक बार में नहीं सिखा सकता। इट्स ऑल अबाउट रिपीटिंग द सेम थिंग अगेन एंड अगेन विद डिसिप्लिन। तब कहीं जाके आप धीरे धीरे करके ग्रेजुअली इंप्रूव करते हो। एक लेक्चर या एक ही वीडियो से ये पॉसिबल नहीं है। नाउ अगर हम परसेंटेजेस की बात करें तो अगर कोई एक एब्सोल्यूट बिगिनर है, उसके लिए ये रेशियो क्या होगा? उसके लिए होगा उसको 50% ध्यान देना है कि मैं मेरा बेसिक्स वगैरह सारी चीजें क्लियर करूं, और उसके बाद 50% उसके लिए साइकोलॉजी है। जब वो एक ट्रेड में होगा तो वो सोच कैसे रहा है उसको उस पर फोकस करना है। बट एज अ बिगिनर उसका फोकस वहां पे सिर्फ 50% होना चाहिए। जिसको 2-3 साल हो चुके हैं मार्केट में, उसके लिए 80% चीज है वो है ट्रेडिंग साइकोलॉजी या वो सोच कैसे रहा है, बाकी का 20% आर द बेसिक थिंग्स। और जिसको 6-7 साल हो चुके हैं बॉस, 99% आप माइंडसेट की वजह से ही मात खा रहे हो, और ट्रस्ट में कोई चीज नहीं होती। तो अभी आपने समझा कि सबसे बड़ी चीज क्या है। सब कुछ आने के बाद में भी आप क्यों नहीं एक्चुअली में कर पा रहे हो? इट्स द वन थिंग, हाउ यू थिंक। अब हाउ यू थिंक से एक्चुअली मेरा मतलब क्या है? क्योंकि अगर आप इसको ब्रेक डाउन करने जाओगे तो हाउ यू थिंक एक ऐसा ट्री है, एक ऐसा पेड़ है जिसके मल्टीपल ब्रांचेस हैं, उसके अंदर ही बहुत सारे इमोशंस एंड थॉट्स आते हैं। कुछ इन जनरल मैं आपको बताता हूं कि वो क्या होते हैं। सबसे पहले जब आप एक पर्टिकुलर ट्रेड में होते हो, उस पर्टिकुलर टाइम पे आप फियर में हो या फिर आप न्यूट्रल हो। सबसे पहला जो इमोशन है वो है फियर। अब फियर कब होता है? देखो, अगर हम ह्यूमन नेचर की बात करें, हर एक इंसान को पैसे खोने का डर है। वो बिजनेसमैन हो, वो अंबानी जी क्यों ना हो, कोई भी इंसान पैसे खोना नहीं चाहता। ह्यूमन बिहेवियर या ह्यूमन माइंड के अगेंस्ट है ये चीज। और जैसे ही आप ट्रेड में आते हो तो ट्रेड में पैसे खोना इज इनएविटेबल। आपको पैसे खोना ही पड़ेगा। ये पहला एक्सेप्टेंस आपको लेके आना है। अब डिपेंड करता है, अगर किसी के पास में 1 लाख रुपए कैपिटल है, उसको बोलूं मैं कि आपको 50,000 60,000 का लॉस लेना है, दैट इज 60%। वो वहां पे डर जाएगा, फियर आ जाएगा। बट अगर किसी के पास में 1 लाख रुपए, उसको बोले कि आपको 2,000 रुपए का लॉस लेना है, 1,000 का लॉस लेना है, वो बोलेगा ठीक है, इतना मैं बेयर कर सकता हूं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। अगेन इट डिफर्स फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन। किसी के अब लेट्स से किसी के पास लेट्स से बहुत अच्छी इनकम है, उसके लिए 1 लाख बड़ी बात नहीं है, तो वो 50,000 का लॉस लेने को भी तैयार हो जाएगा। किसी के पास बिल्कुल इनकम नहीं है, उसके लिए 1 लाख रुपए ही सब कुछ है, तो वो 2,000 के लॉस में भी डरेगा। एग्जाम्पल जो मैं आपको समझाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं कि ये बहुत ही डायनामिक चीज है। बट अगर इसको इन शॉर्ट समरी लेके आए तो वो समरी ये आएगी कि अगर आपका रिस्क, जो भी आप लॉस पहले से प्लान करके चल रहे हो, अगर वो आपके मेंटल एक्सेप्टेंस से ज्यादा है तो आपको डर लगेगा। दैट इज अ वेरी ऑब्वियस थिंग। और आपको डर निकालने के लिए जितना हो सके उतना रिस्क कम रखो। कितना आसानी से मैंने बोल दिया और कितना आसान है ये सुनने में, लेकिन अप्लाई करने में उतना ही डिफिकल्ट है। ऐसा क्यों है? अनदर रीजन जो कि फियर को साथ में लेके आता है, बताता हूं। अगर आप 1 लाख रुपए से ट्रेड करोगे, 1,000 रुपए का रिस्क लोगे सिर्फ, मान लो आपको 1:4 का टारगेट भी मिल गया, मतलब आपने 1,000 रुपए के बदले 4,000 का टारगेट मिल गया, तो आपके सिर्फ 4,000 रुपए बने हैं। अब ये 4,000 रुपए आपको बहुत कम लग रहे हैं, क्योंकि यार 4,000 में क्या ही होता है। अगेन, किसी के लिए 4,000 बहुत बड़ा नंबर हो सकता है, किसी के लिए 4,000 रुपए कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता। यूजुअली